What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past few days, where, to be honest, not that much news, but topics that we still have to cover. Firstly, Joao Felix is still rumored to be joining Barcelona because he said he wanted to play for Barcelona. Barcelona and Atletico Madrid are in negotiation over a loan. Whether or not Barcelona will pay a loan fee or not remains to be seen, but what's clear is that Barcelona will of course cover part, if not all, of his salary. But again, negotiations are ongoing. We'll discuss that. Barcelona on the verge of signing Joan Cancelo. It could probably be even done right now for all I know, but his signing is very close. We'll talk about that, and we'll also talk about if even Fresneda will be signed or not if Joan Cancelo does arrive. Again, Deco is a huge admirer of Ivan Fresneda, but the question really is around FFP. But of course, for players to come in, players will have to leave the club. We have a huge update on the exit of both Clement, Lenglet, and Marcus Alonso. Also an update on Ansu Fati's future, where it's currently swaying. And finally, we do have two absolutely massive contract renewal updates on both of them are two captains. Well, firstly, the second captain, Marc Ter Stegen, and the fourth captain, Frenkie de Jong. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, before we get into the video, this video is sponsored by Number One Foot. Number One Foot is one of the best jersey football replica websites on the market. They have a variety of items at fantastic prices. I have here some with me. Firstly is the home kit for this season. Excellent quality. The badge is nice and smooth. Spotify logo is printed on to perfection. And I also even have a jacket as well. This is one of the training jackets that the players wear. There's a logo there on the right hand side, zipper and everything. They have some badges here, the Nike logo as well. The quality is absolutely, feels real, and also the prices are unbeatable. And if you use the discount code BOY at checkout, you do get an additional 15% off your orders. That's BOY. Use that checkout, you get 15% off your order, and all orders above $80 as well will get free shipping. So what are you waiting for? Top link down in the description down below and get your new football kits today. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past few days. Now, we first have to talk about, of course, the Joao Cancelo operation, which is now a matter of days from completion. I expect this deal to get done 100% before the Villarreal match, hoping before Friday. That way there's time for him to be registered for the Villarreal match. But again, the Joao Cancelo operation is on the verge of completion. Firstly, Sport came out saying that Barcelona have presented an offer to Manchester City for Joao Cancelo of a loan with a buy option for 30 million euros, which will become mandatory if certain conditions are met, like him playing 70% of the matches that he's available for, or Barcelona reaching the Champions League round of 16. City want a sale or a buy obligation. Deco has informed Jorge Mendes that he will not wait beyond this week and will look for alternatives as time is running out. Negotiations are progressing but not closed yet, and the final push is needed. Cancelo and Mendes are putting pressure and are optimistic about a final agreement. So buy option of 30, but that becomes mandatory if Cancelo plays 70% of the matches he's available for Barcelona, or if we reach the Champions League round 16. Now, I can guarantee you, if we don't get an absolutely group of death, we will make the round 16 of the Champions League. So essentially, we're probably going to buy Joao Cancelo. Now, Mateo Merito has come out saying that sooner or later, Joao Cancelo is going to be a Barcelona player. He only wants to go to Barcelona. In the last few hours, they have confirmed to me that he will be a Barcelona player if there's no massive surprise. They give me a lot of peace of mind about this signing. Also, Mateo Merito said that Cancelo will be signed before Fresneda for sure. I don't know if both will be signed. It does depend on FFP. We'll talk, of course, about Fresneda later on. And also reports in Italy saying that the agreement between Barcelona and Man City for Joao Cancelo is one step away. The only thing blocking the deal right now is the financial fair play margin concerns for Barcelona. Manu Sanchez, of course, very close to Jorge Mendes, has come out saying that barring any surprise, Joao Cancelo will be a Barcelona player at some point this week. Jordi Hill from Sport came out saying that there is now an agreement in principle between Barcelona and Man City for Joao Cancelo. It'll be a loan with a buy option for just over 30 million euros. It becomes mandatory under certain conditions, like him playing 70% of matches for Barcelona or reaching the Champions League round of 16. At the beginning of this week, at the latest, Joan Cancelo will become a Barcelona player. During the next hours, the details will be polished and then the announcement would follow. Cancelo will join Barcelona and the role of Jorge Mendes has been key. So again, looks like we're going to buy Cancelo next summer for around 30 million euros. It's going to be a loan now. The good side thing is that there's going to be no loan fee, which means we're just buying Cancelo at next summer for 30 million, which to be honest, Cancelo for 30 million isn't too bad. I wouldn't say it's fantastic. I wouldn't say it's terrible. I think it's right bang average in the middle, you could say. And finally, Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that Barcelona and Man City are now discussing the final details for the Joan Cancelo deal. Breakthrough is expected soon, and Joan is patiently waiting as he already agreed personal terms with Barcelona weeks ago and wants to move, and Barcelona hopes to complete this deal at some point this week. Again, it's gonna happen. We are gonna sign Joao Cancelo at some point this week, 100%, and it looks like it will be a loan, initial loan with a mandatory buy option in some way, shape, or form next summer for 30 million euros. I think this is a great deal. You're getting one of the best right backs and one of the best left backs in the world as well. So I think this is something that should have been done a long time ago. And by a long time ago, I mean earlier in the summer or back in 2015 when he was already at Valencia. So it's going to be a great operation for Barcelona. It's someone who we desperately, and I mean desperately, need at this club. So wins all round, and hopefully Joao Cancelo will be a blaugrana at some point this week. Now, along with Joao Cancelo, Barcelona have also been linked with another right back, and that is of course Ivan Fresneda, who could also be signed with Joao Cancelo if current conditions do apply. Now, ESPN have come out saying that Ivan Fresneda is still waiting to see if Barcelona finally decide to sign him before making a decision on his future. He gave the green light to join Barcelona weeks ago, but the opinion at the club for his signing has been divided. It is not ruled out that Barcelona could attempt to sign both Cancelo and Fresneda this window if FFP permits, which hopefully it will. In the meantime, Chelsea, West Ham United, Benfica, Porto, and Sporting have all shown interest in Fresneda. Fresneda's preferred destination would be Barcelona, but he is aware that time is running out and will opt to move elsewhere if Barca do not act. Keep in mind, Real Valladolid are relegated. They're playing in the second division, and Fresneda has been trying to leave for the whole entire summer, and he has been waiting for Barcelona. And I must say, those who wait always get rewarded. Now, Moises Blores from ESPN has come out saying that Ivan Fresneda believes that Barcelona is the best option for him, but he will not wait forever. Chelsea are pushing to sign him, and other clubs like Benfica, Porto, and Sporting are also in queue. I believe Fabrizio Romano is saying that Chelsea are not in for Fresneda, but again, Barcelona are still in the market for him. But following these, not positive reports, but good reports, we did get a bombshell from Tony Juan Marti, who is, of course, you could say top 5, top 7 best Barcelona sources out there. He's come out saying that Ivan Fresneda has been ruled out as an option to sign this summer. Now, I would suggest this. I would wait to see if we sell Marcos Alonso. If we get rid of Marcos Alonso, I think bringing Fresneda is a must at that point, because you cannot just rely on Cancelo and Alejandro Balde as your two only fullbacks. You can have 3. If Balde gets injured, you put Cancelo right back, Fresneda right back. If Cancelo's injured, Fresneda goes straight in at right back. I think you'd have somewhat of an option on the bench for the fullback position. You cannot rely on Roberto for an entire season, in my opinion. Anyways, if club think otherwise, they think otherwise. And you're passing up on a player right now who is going to be at his lowest value, I think, in my opinion. If he goes to, Sporto. If he goes to Sporting, Porto, Benfica, Borussia Dortmund, he's been linked with Arsenal as well, who do want to right back. They wanted Cancelo, but now he's coming to Barcelona. I think he'll only go on the up. He'll be probably worth 30 million euros. I would say probably the valuation of Cancelo in a few years' time. So getting him now for a 20 million euro package, 10 fixed, 10 in variables, is a very, very good deal. Whether the club loan him or not, I'm not quite too sure. I would bring him in now, keep him, and then if he does not play from now until January, loan him out in January. I think that's going to be a great option as well. But we'll wait and see. For now, we're having a lot of good reports and some bad reports now as well. I think it'll become more clear once we sign Cancelo what the plan is for Barcelona, and also, of course, keep our eyes on the future of Marcos Alonso, as it's definitely linked with the signing of Fresneda. But we'll wait and see. I would say for now, Fresneda is still on the table, but of course, that can evaporate very, very quickly. Now, another Portuguese player with the first name João, who Barcelona could also be loaning this summer, is, of course, Joao Felix, who is still in talks with Barcelona over a loan deal, as he is desperate to join the club, and Barcelona trying to, sort a deal out with Atletico Madrid. The only contact there has been is a straight swap for Ansu and Felix, but Atletico Madrid and Ansu Fati have said no to that move. Now, Mateo Marito has come out saying there is nothing imminent with Joao Felix right now. It is not expected to be closed in the next few days. The plan is to go to Barcelona, and Mendes is working on it. Barca and Atletico Madrid are in talks about how it can be done, but it's not clear what the correct figures are. Again, keep in mind that Marc did say a few days ago that talks are advanced for a loan fee of around 7 to 8 million euros. For me, that's a terrible operation for Barcelona. I'm not going to go into it too much, and I've seen a lot of comments saying that, oh, Barca boy, Joao Felix is a great player, why don't you rate him? Look, Joao Felix, fantastic player, just not for Barcelona. I tell you now, he will not fit in the Barcelona system. He is a player that I think he's a Premier League player, Joao Felix, in the sense that he has to play behind a striker. So 4-2-3-1, and that's a very common formation in the Premier League. I think he'll fit right in there. Barcelona either play like we saw yesterday, 3-2-2-1, or a 4-3-3, or maybe a 4-4-2. Although Xavi doesn't admit it sometimes. I don't think he'll fit at Barcelona whatsoever. Whether you put him on the left wing, right wing, striker, center forward, creative midfielder role, I don't think he'll fit in, and that's my issue. But we do have some positive reports on Joao Felix, in my opinion anyways, coming from Javi Miguel from AES. He's come out saying the Joao Felix case will take some time. Barcelona have other priorities. In no case will Barcelona pay a loan fee for him. They'll pay his salary though. For him to arrive, a forward must leave for FFP reasons. Look, I'd rather just get Cancelo on loan, buy Fresneda, loan a midfielder like Lo Celso, and call it a day. I think the signing of Joao Felix makes no sense. I would much rather bet on Ansu Fati. We'll talk about that later on. I'm very, very worried the club will buckle on this just to make Jorge Mendes happy. Again, we are only linked to Joao Felix, not because we want him. It's because his agent is very good friends with our president, and also he came out saying, word for word, I want to play for Barcelona. Those are the words of the player himself, and that's the only reason why he's linked. That's the only reason why Barcelona talking about him. Remember, we had targets at the beginning of the window. He wasn't even a breath, and then all of a sudden he comes out after. Because the thing is, right, he had his loan deal end with Chelsea. We're thinking, oh, he might stay at Chelsea. Maybe he'll go to another Premier League club like United. We're interested. I don't know where he drops. I want to go to Barcelona, and I'll do everything I can to go to Barcelona. So Barcelona have been put in this situation where you have a good player saying he wants to join you, and that his agent is very close friends with the president. Again, if Joao Felix was a player that would fit in Barcelona, I'd be all over it. I think the best case scenario for me in terms of his signing is that if we sign him and don't pay a loan fee, we just cover part of his salary and have a buy option. That's it. I'll be content with that, but I'll only be worried if we pay a loan fee and also if we get rid of a forward in order to bring him in like Ansu Fati, Ferran Torres, Abdi. I'd rather keep them all. I honestly would rather keep them all than bring in Joao Felix. We'll wait and see what happens. Again, Joao Felix's future will not be decided. Right now, it will be near the end of the window, and this saga will continue until the final second of the Mercado. Let's now discuss the players who have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past few days. Now, firstly, we do have an update on the final 2 sales for Barcelona this summer. Of course, the sales they want to do. Other sales could happen, 3 at the most, I would say. But following the departure of Serginho Dest to PSV Eindhoven, the club now have their eyes set on getting rid of 2 more players, Clement Lenglet and Marcus Alonso. Now, Roger Solero from Deportivo came out saying that after Serginho Dest's move to PSV Eindhoven, Barcelona are also working to find a destination for Clement Lenglet. With these 2 exits, financial fair play will be achieved to complete the pending registrations in the squad. So Roger Solero is saying that once we get rid of Lenglet, we can register Inaki Peña and Marcus Alonso. Keep in mind they have not been registered yet. They weren't even registered for the match against Cadiz. to the point that there was no squad list release. I have never seen Barcelona not release a squad ahead of a match until that match against Cadiz. That for me was a big bombshell. Now, following the sale of, the loan of Des to PSV Eindhoven, there's been a lot of reports similar to this, but we got a big bomb from Gerard Romero, who came out saying that after Des, the folders of Clement, Lenglet, and Marcos Alonso are to be resolved. They're assessing offers from the Premier League. So apparently a Premier League club is in for Marcos Alonso. Accept the bid. Take it and run. I don't care if it's for free. I don't care if it's for €1, €2, €1,000,000. Take it and run. Now, according to reports, Xavi did want Alonso registered for the Cadiz match because apparently he wanted to play him at center back. I'm calling absolute BS. It was quite clear in his press conference, that post-match press conference, that he didn't miss Alonso. His plan all along was to play Frenkie de Jong. I think if he wanted to play Alonso, he would have mentioned it, like, oh, I was going to play Alonso, but he couldn't be registered yet. I think Alonso's salary is ridiculous. It's ridiculous to the point that I think he should go. Surplus to requirements. He's third choice left back at this point. We have Ansu, Abdi, and Alejandro Balde ahead of him, and probably Joao Cancelo at this stage. He is there as a squad player, and I think, you know what, if he's earning very, very little money like Roberto, that's fine to be a squad player, but when you're a squad player earning 9 million net per season, that's madness. Again, his renewal, I think, is the worst decision the board has done since they were elected in 2021. Of course, I think the Joao Felix operation, if we get rid of Ansu, will be worse. But I think getting rid of him would make this transfer window like a 9 out of 10, I believe. I think our transfer window right now is probably at a 7, pending, of course, we get Cancelo, see what happens with Joao Felix, we get rid of Lenglet. I think Alonso sale will jump us up 2 points. It's that significant, and I think he's a player that we don't need at all. I'd rather trust the youth. At that point, you have Mikhail Fay. Trust him. Give him a few runouts if, injuries happen. But we'll wait and see what happens. Again, the club now are only focused on 2 more exits they actually want to do, and that's Clement, Lenglet, and Marcos Alonso. Of course, maybe Ferran could leave. Maybe Ansu. I think those are the only 4 players that could end up leaving from now until the end of this month when the Mercado ends. But we'll wait and see. I am praying and begging for both the sale of Lenglet and Alonso, hopefully permanently, by the end of the month. Now, a player's future that is still very much in doubt is the future of Ansu Fati, where over the past weekend, didn't really bode too well for him. Now, of course, we saw the lineup. Lamine Yamal did start, the 16-year-old, ahead of Ansu Fati, and Tony Juan Marc, this is just his opinion, but he came out stating the fact that Lamine Yamal is starting today is a message to Ansu Fati. Dembele has left, Rafinha is suspended, and yet Fati is still not a starter. And I completely agree. I mean, I would bet some very, very good money. I'm not a betting man. It's haram. But if I was a betting man, I would put some good money on Ansu Fati leaving. I am shocked, flabbergasted that he did not start. I'm also very shocked he didn't come on at halftime. I'm also very shocked he didn't come in the 55th minute or the 60th minute. I mean, he came on, had an instant impact. I think the only way Ansu Fati stays is that if he rejects all offers, I'm not listening, blah, 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 and then ends up staying. I think the club will probably tell him at some point, hit the high road, we want to bring in Joao Felix, get in. It doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. I think that will be, again, the worst move this new board has done since being elected in 2021, in my opinion, of course, but I don't think the signs are good right now for Ansu Fati. Yes, he's the first sub off the bench, but that's not where he wants to be. And honestly, I don't think that's where he deserves to be. I think he played a good preseason. Against Getafe, he came on and looked like a real threat. I think that's enough for him to start. And apparently Xavi does think otherwise. But Xavi still ums and ahs and praises Ansu Fati in his post-match press conference. Oh, he's the club heritage. He's for the present and for the future. All this stuff, it pisses me off that the Madrid media are even saying that, oh, we take him at Madrid, he's that good. People know the talent of Ansu Fati. Yeah, Barcelona and Xavi just don't want to give him a chance. We're going to give Ferran Torres a remontada season. Why not Ansu Fati? I'm at a point now where I said, you know what, just trust them both for one more year and see how it goes. If they both flop, they both flop. If you sell Ansu Fati now, you'll probably get 50 million euros. You sell him next summer, you'll get 40, maybe 30 if he has under 10 goals and 10 assists. You're not losing much money. And also, if he does well, you save a buckload of money. So it doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. All this FFP stuff. I mean, we've gotten rid of 1 million a week off the wage bill, and yet we still have FFP issues. Like Busquets left, PK left, Alba left, Des left, Nico left, Gustavo Maya left, Ousmane Dembele left, Franck Kessié left. I mean, that's honestly right there, $1 million off the wage bill a week. Seriously. And yet we still have FFP issues. I mean, I don't know. Well, we'll wait and see with Ansu Fati, but in my opinion, I think he will leave at a point, because we're at a point now, like, here's the list of why he's gonna leave, and here's the list of why he's gonna stay. And this is only because he wants to stay. Like, we'll wait and see. I'm very, very worried about the situation, but again, the famous saying, in the transfer window, you just never know. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is to give you guys some contract renewal updates around the first team at Barcelona. Firstly, the big one that has been going around over the past few days, and that is a point now where it's essentially official, and that is the contract renewal of the second captain of the club, Marc Ter Stegen, and there has been a breakthrough. Of course, in the past transfer video, I told you guys, or the Mail came out saying that Ter Stegen representatives were at the club discussing a potential renewal, and a few days after that, Luis Rojo from Marca broke the news saying that total agreement has been reached for the contract renewal of Marc Ter Stegen until 2028, so only a 2-year renewal. He defers part of his salary this season and thus generates FFP for the club. What a legend. He continues on by saying that as per the agreement reached between Barcelona and Marc Ter Stegen, he will defer a large part of his salary for this season and the next, and it will increase in the last 3 seasons, contract until 2028, and this will help a lot with financial fair play. And essentially, Ter Stegen has done a Samuel Umtiti, where now he has 3 years left on his deal on $300,000 a week. He's extended that for 2 more years, divided that 300 over 3 years over the course of 5 years, where the majority of it will be paid in the last 3 years, and the minority of it will be paid in the first 2 that are coming up now. So again, he's helping the club. We renew his contract, which of course is very important to keep him on lock for a few more years, and you not give him a pay rise or salary reduction. You just spread what he currently earns over the course of a few years. Now, I think a lot of people say that, oh, you can't bet on Ter Stegen until he's 36, so his decline will be huge. I agree with that. I think it's a big risk from the club, but I also think that Ter Stegen has been here long enough to see the turmoil that players go through when they don't leave. I mean, he's been here since 2015, so he's seen Xavi leave, he's seen Iniesta leave, he's seen Mascherano leave, he's seen Messi, Alba, Busquets all leave. So he knows, not only does he know when the time is right to leave, he also knows that when the majority of the fan base says it's time for you to go, it's time for you to go. And I think that when it comes to a point in his 3rd year where he's going to be earning probably that $300,000 back, and you'll be like, what, I think 34 or 35, something like that, questions will be asked. Well, Steve is still at the highest level. You know, goalkeepers do have a longer career than players on the pitch. I think right now, if we're talking about his age as a regular player, I'd be very, very concerned. But he's a goalkeeper, so there's more longevity in that sense. I think him helping out the club has to be, you know, something that we do praise for Ter Stegen. Now, also, this has been confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. He's come out saying that Barcelona are closing in on an agreement with Marc Ter Stegen over a new contract. It's imminent. It's not signed yet, but very advanced. It'll be valid until 2028 with a new salary structure to help with FFP. So he completely confirms Luis Rojo's report, and I think this is something that you have to take credit for. Again, we were praising Umtiti when he did it, when he didn't even play for the club. So, and I think Umtiti, what he did was he deferred it, but also took a total 10% decrease. Maybe Ter Stegen might do that. Of course, that 10% decrease was never rumored. That was in the official statement. So let's wait for the official statement, see what the clubs say. But I think the general consensus is that he will renew his contract and defer part of his salary. Again, help him with FFP. Maybe this way Ansu Fati can stay. We can redshirt Cancelo, no problem. Get in Fresneda. Maybe get in Lo Celso as well if needs be. And hopefully, hopefully not, Joao Felix. So shout out to Ter Stegen. I mean, he's shown his love for the club. He's, you know, been here for a very, very long time. He's going to be the first team captain probably a year or 2, I would say, and he's doing that by setting an example here with helping the club. So shout out my goalkeeper Ter Stegen, and we'll see how this develops over the next few years in the sense that will it be the correct decision or not. Because again, there's a lot of risk in this, because this will be a lot of short-term gain, but then potentially, if things go wrong, long-term pain. And the final contract renewal update is on the contract renewal of the 4th team captain of the club, Frenkie de Jong, the best midfielder in the world. Now, it's not coming in from 2 reliable sources, but something that to take note of. Sport came out saying that Barcelona have started initial talks with Frenkie de Jong over a contract agreement under similar conditions to that of Marc on Ter Stegen to extend the duration of his contract, which ends right now in 2026, and distribute the current salary. This of course will help immensely with FFP, and in principle Frenkie de Jong has been predisposed to reach an agreement that can help the club in the current context. So apparently Frenkie de Jong has already agreed to help the club in some way, shape, or form, and this could be the avenue. Look, if it's good for Ter Stegen, it's going to be great for Frenkie de Jong, because of course he's younger, he has a way higher value. We're going to renew his deal and not give him any more money, just take his current salary and spread it. Again, apparently, reportedly, Frenkie de Jong's earning around 400,000 euros per week, which is quite hefty in a wage bill that Lewandowski should be the top earner, around 240,000 a week. I believe the club want, don't want to give any player more than $250,000 per week. That's their new kind of, salary structure, which makes sense under the current rules and regulations of La Liga and Javier Tebas. Look, I think this would be absolutely brilliant. You get to renew one of the best players in the world, his contract. You get to also increase his value by not spending a penny whatsoever. You just give him the already money that you agreed to give him and spread it out over the course of a few years. Again, I expect this to be a 2-year renewal as well until 2028, but again, so, it has to be done with Frenkie de Jong because he has a lot of value, a lot of teams want him, and next season you're going to be going into, the final 2 years of the deal where clubs start talking, get into his mind, hey, 2 more years, maybe a bid will come in next summer when he has 2 years left on his deal, the summer after that, 1 year left, this is going to be it. You either sell him or you let him go for free. So getting this done now, I think, is very, very important. Of course, him and Ter Stegen both had contract issues last summer as well, where the wage bill is absolutely fucked, and the club are trying to reduce it. They waited a year later now to wait for the time to be right, you could say, and I think they have done so exponentially well. And I do hope Frenkie de Jong does renew, because he's a player that we've got to keep, and I'm very, very optimistic that he will end up doing so. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past few days. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. But the main thing I want to firstly, of course, is your thoughts on the Joao Felix operation, and would you execute that operation or not? Would you only cover his salary? Would you pay a loan fee? Hell, would you swap Ansu with him? Would you get rid of Ansu to get Joao Felix in? Second, your thoughts, of course, on the signing of Fresneda. Of course, Joan Cancelo is gonna sign, whether you like it or not. He'll be a brilliant signing. But would you also go for Fresneda or not? What are your thoughts on Barcelona losing out on Fresneda as well? Thirdly, do you think that Barcelona will get rid of both Lenglet and Alonso, one of them, and God forbid neither of them? And finally, your thoughts on the contract renewal of Ter Stegen, which again is basically done, and also the potential talks over the contract renewal of Frenkie de Jong, and your thoughts on their salaries being deferred instead of them getting an increase or a decrease on a permanent basis. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca.